Okay, so Microsoft bought Ninja Theory. They came in there with a big truck of money and said, I need you, baby. I need you. I need some games. And to be fair, they do. Microsoft needs some games. More importantly, Microsoft needs a talented studio. See, I've been playing Ninja Theory games since I can remember. I don't think the first game I've ever played of theirs was Enslaved, but it might have been. And I've enjoyed every Ninja Theory game to some extent. They are a talented studio. I've been saying this for years on end. So, Microsoft acquiring them is good for Microsoft. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have me worried. Because when talented studios go to these big publishers and become part of them, it can sometimes. Look, we all know how this goes, right? The publisher comes to the studio with demands and say, I want this in the game. I want microtransactions. Oh, you know what's popular right now? Battle Royale. Put a Battle Royale. They dissect a good game and completely fuck it over. EA did the same with their Star Wars single player game, and then they fired the Visceral Studios. They fired the studio. And I don't want that to happen with Ninja Theory because this company has been around for a long time. And while they haven't had the biggest successes, if you were to sit down and play their games, one would have to admit that they are very solid and enjoyable. And that's the difference between a lot of publishers. Like, you would play a game and you would just be going through the motions of, okay, it's a game. Ninja Theory is a little bit above that, whereas their games have been quite unique and showed signs of greatness. Now, whether those games never reached the heights that they could have because of budget or time or just technology, or maybe they just didn't have the talent at that time, you were able to see that the studio had a lot of promise. And just recently, they published their own game of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, and that was very well received. So it seems like Ninja Theory was well on their way to becoming a very independent company, a la the likes of CD Projekt Red. I know not as great as them, but still competent and able to carve out their own niche in the industry. So them going to Microsoft and accepting that offer, while I think it is good for the company, that doesn't mean that I'm not worried, because this can benefit Microsoft greatly because they needed a very talented studio, and damn it, they have one now. But bad things can happen. Like, it was said that they would have full control over the game they make, and how many times have we heard that shit before bad things happened? Now, with that being said, Phil Spencer is a good leader for Microsoft in terms of getting things back on track. I truly believe this. And I do believe that Phil Spencer will give Ninja Theory all the time they need to create the game they want. I mean, Christ, look how long Sea of Thieves was in production and that mess, and Crackdown has been in development since I think before the Xbox One even existed. So Phil Spencer is willing to give studios time and money to create something. He's trying to rebuild the Xbox brand with trust, and I wish him the best of luck. So this has me hopeful that Ninja Theory will have the chance to create something great. But what I'm worried about is their future and not their immediate, right? Because Phil Spencer will not always be the head of Microsoft or whatever, right? Just like Don Mattrick before him, someone will eventually step in to take his place. And that person is probably going to be more business minded and going to go to them and say, hey, I want this in the game, I want that in the game, blah, blah, blah. This is what our market analysts tell us. Look, this is what happens when you change leaders at a company. That person comes in and tries to make it their own and invoke their ideas and their personality into the company. This makes me worried about a lot of things. Now, Sony doesn't have this problem because Sony is on a particular set course and things are just going well for them. But as an American company, the mindset can be a lot different. Anyway, yeah, I want to talk more on this, but hey, it's time to go to work. So yeah, you all take care. I'll see you next time.